More than 30,000 people have signed a petition to move Anne the elephant from Longleat to a sanctuary in France. Anne has been living at the Wiltshire Wildlife Park for almost 10 years after she was rescued from a circus. Now campaigners from Action for Elephants want there to be a review of her living situation. The founder of the group, Maria Mossman, joins me on the phone. Maria, thanks for your time this morning. First of all, why do you think it's the right thing to do to move Anne?
Well, I'd just like to say first, we would like Anne assessed first. We would never call for anything where it would be detrimental to Anne's health, and that is why we are calling for the assessments by independent experts. But we believe Anne's been on her own for 19 years. She hasn't seen another elephant, and she's been offered a place at a sanctuary, and we believe Anne deserves this last chance to be given to go and be with her own kind and be an elephant, basically.
Longleat have said that there was an assessment taken out a couple of years ago, 2019, and it found that Anne had a positively challenging and stimulating environment. Why is there any cause to not sort of agree or believe that independent inquiry?
There's no comparison between the sanctuary and where Anne lives now. Anne lives in a barn where in the cold months she'll be in the barn all the time. Her outside has got no stimulation. I've got the report in front of me, and it says, does the outdoor enclosure provide adequate space and allow natural behaviours? And the answer was, Anne has a shower and a pool. Anne does have a pool, but she's never been pictured or videoed with the water above her knees. It's been said that the pool is too steep for her and she doesn't like to go in. It also says on the report that she has trees to browse and does not have one single tree in her enclosure. She has no shade. So, and it also says on the report that she has mud wallows, and she doesn't. So that's why we want to have a fresh, new, independent experts to go in there to look at Anne and just see if they can give her this opportunity.
Well, we couldn't speak to Longleat this morning. They wouldn't come on the programme. We do have a statement from them, which we will hear in a few moments' time. But the essence of it is that they say that they do look after Anne very well, and also it wouldn't be right to move her. She's in quite a fragile state. Could we not end up maybe perhaps doing more damage by moving Anne to France?
Well, this is what the assessment would be about. We have support from. Have you heard of Kavan's move recently? The elephant from Pakistan to Cambodia, and he was assessed by Dr. Amir. And we have the support of Born Free, Four Paws, and Dr. Amir, so that they would get experts in to look at Anne. We also have the support of Scott Blaylis from the Global Sanctuary for Elephants, and he said there's no comparison to the life that Anne would lead at a sanctuary. Anne has been given the opportunity to walk in the woods, to roam fields, to bathe in a river. She's going to have the opportunity to meet elephants.
Okay, Maria, thank you for your time this morning. Maria Mossman there, who is the founder of the group to try and get Anne the elephant moved from Longleat. We're going to hear a statement from Longleat in a few moments' time. But also on the phone is Dr. Niall McCann, the Director of Conservation at National Park Rescue. Dr. McCann, thank you for your time this morning. Is it as simple as just moving an elephant from one place to the other? What kind of factors need to be thought about here?
Morning, James, and thanks for having me on. Moving an elephant's a complicated thing because they're absolutely enormous, and especially in the case of Anne, who's in the autumn years of her life, there's some potential concerns around her health if she is moved. But I think that the most important consideration has to be her mental health and her mental well-being, because elephants are extraordinarily intelligent. They are very, very emotional. They are very, very sociable beings, and it's her mental well-being that I think needs to be at the forefront of this decision.
Yeah, and, as Maria was calling for then an assessment, presumably would help to establish that. Just help us out to discover where we are in the life of Anne as an elephant. She's approximately between 60 and 70. Does there become a time where they become too old and just moving is not going to happen?
She's certainly very, very old for an elephant, and very old for an elephant in captivity. Elephants in captivity live a life that is incredibly stressful in comparison to those in the wild, so that their lifespan tends to be a lot shorter. So the fact that she's already approaching 70 is quite remarkable, and she's obviously a very resilient lady. I think even the fact that she is old and there is a prospect of her potentially succumbing to some kind of illness if she is transported, I think the benefit of moving her is, or at least trying to move her, outweighs the prospect of losing her life in translocation, because they are so sociable. And I really take Maria's point that they need stimulation in their environment, but the greatest stimulation they require is that interaction with other elephants. If this was a human being, you would want to give them that opportunity, even if they were old and frail. You would want to give them that opportunity to interact with other human beings in the last few years of their life. And I think we need to be taking into consideration that element more than anything else.
I suppose the issue there, though, is that Anne's been on her own for 10 years. Could it not be quite damaging to then suddenly introduce her to other elephants?
It certainly could be, and elephants, like people, have personalities. Some are cantankerous, some are very friendly, and we do not know what kind of personality Anne has when she's around other elephants. But again, at this stage, you're starting to make excuses why not to do something, and I think really you should be looking for reasons to do it. And you can always try giving her the opportunity to interact with other elephants and the opportunity to have a much more stimulating environment, notwithstanding that Longleat have done the best within their capability, I think is really important. At least try. If she doesn't get on with the other elephants, if she is too cantankerous, or if some of them are bullies, then you can at least move her into an isolated area of that park there, where she would still have a significantly better standard of living than she does currently at Longleat.
A cantankerous elephant is definitely an insult that I've been called in the past, I think. Dr. Niall McCann, thank you for that this morning, Director of Conservation at the National Park Rescue. While Longleat weren't able to come on the programme this morning, but here's what they told us in a statement read by one of our producers.
We have never ruled out moving her to another home if somewhere suitable can be found. However, any decision must be based entirely on her specific needs and welfare. The reality of her situation now is that she is a very elderly elephant with significant underlying as well as age-related health issues, the latter of which will sadly not improve. The dangers involved with attempting to somehow mix her with other elephants are, according to the opinions of numerous independent welfare experts as well as the team who currently care for her, extremely high. Our sole aim is to try and ensure Anne is able to live out her remaining years in a safe, secure, familiar and, above all, loving environment.
That was a statement from Longleat read by one of our producers. It's 7:55.
BBC Radio